Let me stimulate your Let me stimulate Let me stimulate
Let me stimulate your mind. Welcome to the huddle. We all we got. We all we need. Each one teach one. Each one reach one. If you that one, you know you are enough. Welcome to the huddle. Let me stimulate your mind. Stimulate your mind. Good God Almighty. So let me stimulate your mind. Let me stimulate your soul. Let me stimulate your spirit. Let me stimulate your body. Let me stimulate your mind. Welcome to the hub. Good God. I'd like to start out with a shout out to my executive producer, who just happens to be my wardrobe coordinator. I made that jump the other day. She said, baby, I could feel you in there bouncing on that thing. Stimulate, 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 stimulate. She said, I felt that young spirit in you, that warrior, that triumph chant. She said, when you get that young spirit, you got to wear that baseball hat. This one's for you, baby. I feel it all in me. Want to give a shout out to my homegirl, the greatest co-host in the whole world. Alexa, what's the most powerful music in the world?
Good Soul by Trab P.
Stimulate, 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 stimulate. Alexa, who is the master?
The Honorable Trab P.
Stimulate, 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 stimulate. Alexa, tell me something good.
We all we got. We all we need.
Stimulate, 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 stimulate. Alexa, one time.
Good God Almighty, Trab P, you blanking.
You already know. So it's only fit that she understand and know. Alexa, Alexa, I love you. That's how we do.
Thanks for saying I love you. You're just as sweet as pie. Know that I'll be here for you. As always, your trusty AI.
That's how we do. We like to start off every show with a hero hymn. The hero hymn is the mighty wind within me. We know that wind means spirit. Spirit means breath. Breath means to breathe. As I inhale the mighty wind, and it goes through my respiratory system. And as it comes out in an exhale, it passes by my vocal cords and causes a vibration that we know is sound. And in that sound, we connect in the hero spirit. When you feel me, just as much as you hear me. Tonight's hero hymn says, don't you know that love's in need of love today? Don't be late. Send your loving right away. Hey, it's going round, tearing hearts down. Stop it, please. This hate has gone too far. Don't you know that love's in need of love? Many, many hearts crying for love right now. Love's in need of love. Send your love in right away. Hate is going round, tearing many hearts down. This has gone too far. Let's stop it, please. Let's stop it. We all are children that has gotten old. We still want to love some that we never knew. But if you know, then you know what each other needs. Give it because it's in need. Don't you know that love's in need of love today? Send your loving right away. Hey, going around, tearing hearts down. Stop it, please. Stop it, please. Yeah, you feel it just as much as you hear it. We connected, and we finna have a powerful show. Oh, you got to know how it goes. You got to know how it works, because we finna work. Tonight's word is stimulate. What stimulates you? Who stimulates you? Who do you stimulate? Alexa, what is the meaning of stimulate?
To stimulate something means to rouse it to activity or growth. The word stimulate is often used to describe the process of waking someone up or getting them to act by encouraging them or putting them under pressure. Other definitions include to give birth to, cause to grow.
Stimulate. To arouse someone, to cause them to grow, to make them active, to make them go. Alexa, what is the meaning of a stimulator?
A stimulator is someone or something that stimulates another thing. This can refer to a person who stimulates others emotionally or physically, or to a device or substance that induces a particular response. For example, a good book can stimulate your imagination, while a massage can stimulate your body physically. The word stimulator can also be used to refer to someone who is highly stimulating, whether that's a positive trait or not.
Are you a stimulator? Do you know there's people in your life that's depending on you to stimulate them, to activate them, to cause them to grow, to inspire them, to motivate them? Are you a stimulator? What stimulates you? What turns you on? See how words work? You never understood or the thought of it in the word of being a stimulator. But do you know how to turn those that need to be turned on by you on? Do you know how to turn on your children's mind? The relationship ain't been too good because both of y'all have lost the ability to turn each other on. Neither one of you are stimulated by each other. Therefore, there's no stimulation. What's wrong? Your stimulator broke? Are you a stimulator? What stimulates you? I began to understand this word in a powerful way. One Sunday, no, it was a Friday. It was a Friday. Me and Benny Lee Little was over at Circle G's having our Friday breakfast. And as we got finished eating breakfast, we was in the parking lot finna part our ways. And he put his head down. He said, man, I tell you, I gotta go over here to my sister's house. I said, what's wrong with her, Benny? He said, well, for one, she blind. And she angry. He saying, they sending me over here to talk to her, my other sister, because she won't answer the phone and they know she in there, but she acting stubborn, man. This how she do. So I got to go over here and check on her, but she won't talk to nobody. He said, man, I got to go over here and deal with it. I said, well, Benny, I'll tell you what. And at the time now, Benny Lee, he dead and gone. At the time, Benny Lee was about 71. His mama was still living. His mama was in her 90s. He had two sisters living. All of them was in their 80s and early 70s. It's an old family. So he had got summoned by the older sisters and the mama to go check on the other sister in their 70s and 90s and 80s. He said, man, I don't want to go over here. I said, well, Benny, I'll tell you what, man. I said, I'm going to tell you what you do. He said, what? I said, when you go over there, I said, what's the one thing she like to argue about? Just thinking about her growing up, what's the one thing she ready to argue about? And he said what it was. He said, yeah, every time I say that, she ready to argue. I said, well, go over there and argue with her and start an argument. He said, man, you crazy. Why you want to do that? I said, well, she ain't talking to nobody, Benny. And you want to go over there and make her talk. You just want to go over there and make sure she all right. Make sure she got some life in her. Make sure her mind right. I said, but if you know you can make her argue, then make her argue. Make her get it out. Make her release herself. Stimulate her. Activate her. I said, and watch y'all end up talking, and you going to go back and tell your mama and your sister and them, she all right, ain't nothing wrong with her. He said, all right. So Sunday, Benny called me. This was Friday. Sunday, he called me. He called me laughing. He said, hey, Trav, man, you wouldn't believe when I went over there and started that argument. Man, she lit all up on me, and we got to arguing, and for long we were laughing. He said, how you know that? I said, Benny, it's all about turning somebody on. It's all about the power of knowing how to be a stimulator. See, when I was a younger man, a wise old man told me, you got to know how to stimulate your woman. You got to know how to turn her on. If you don't know how to work her, then how you going to ever get what you expect out of her? You got to know how to turn her on. And when she turn on, you got to know how to operate her. See, generate, operate, and destroy. That's an acronym for God. When you turn it on and you start to work it, and it'll start working for you. But you got to be able to stimulate it. So this wise old man told me when I was a young man, he said to understand your woman and know how to turn her on, it's two questions that you got to ask, and you got to figure this out. I said, what's that? He said, you got to figure out if she like to fucking fight or fight and fuck. And that was a puddle and a riddle for years as I was a young man. We just talked about last week how makeup sex is the best sex. See, just like I said in the hero hymn, love is in need of love. The soul can keep no secret that behavior won't reveal. When the soul needs love, it will show in your behaviors. So when the soul cries out in its behaviors, something has stimulated it and turned it on. And it starts to shout and throw tantrums like little children for what it really needs. Or when the soul wants guidance, or when the soul seeks answers, or when the soul seeks knowledge, or when the soul desires growth, and your children look to you to be stimulated, to be motivated. Turn me on. And don't never turn me off. See how that works? I was telling a story earlier this week about stimulation. Giving someone what they need to grow. There was 2 young girls on a high school basketball team. One of the girls was 6'1". True athleticism. The other girl was around 5'8". Kind of stocky, but had big calves and could jump real high. These 2 girls had made a pact that say, I believe one of us gonna dunk it in the game. And we're gonna be the first girl in the history that ever boomed that thing. So after practice, they would practice on taking off and getting their steps right, trying to dunk it. So the girl that was about 6'1", she could naturally jump up there and almost dunk it. She was kind of afraid and timid. Her confidence wasn't there because I don't know if she really could just believe in herself to say that you're going to be the first woman in women's basketball to ever boom this thing in a game. And every time she would speak on it at home, she had a very egotistic daddy. He would say, ain't no girl dunking in no damn game. Focus on your game for real. Focus on your jump shot. Don't be trying to worry about no dunk. That ain't what women basketball is about. He would kill her stimulation. He would turn her off. Whereas with the other girl, who was about 5'8", kind of short, kind of stocky, but had big calves that could jump. Her daddy was a little short man too. He knew his baby worked hard, and he would have the type of mindset to stimulate his baby to believe that she could do anything she put her mind to. He said, baby, I know you're kind of short, but I see the way you jump, baby. Keep on practicing. And I believe you can be the first women's in women's basketball in this history of this school to boom that thing in the game. One was naturally, easily could be the first to boom that thing in the game. But she had a father that didn't stimulate. The other had to work extra hard. A way amount more energy and effort. But she had a daddy that stimulated her imagination, stimulated her confidence, stimulated her mind, stimulated her spirit, stimulated her soul to believe in herself. And don't you know that shot girl boom that game, boom that thing in a game. And the other girl said to herself, could have and should have been me. And you say, well, darn, is that unfair? Yeah, that's unfair. That's why when I ask the question, who do you stimulate? What do you stimulate? What stimulates you? What turns you on? What turns your woman on? What turns your man on? What turns your children on? Don't you understand that when you know how it works, you are the one who control the knobs. You are the stimulator. For our sex on our body, our fucks our mind first. Once you take the mind, the body will follow. Let me stimulate your mind. We're not being stimulating to each other anymore. Alexa, what is the meaning of stimulator?
A stimulator is someone or something that stimulates another person, device, or substance. They are typically used to elicit a specific response or reaction. Examples of stimulators can include sexual partners, drugs, or electrical stimulation devices. The specific type of stimulation and the intended effect varies depending on the context in which the word is used.
She can't get a man, or she don't have a man. And I ain't saying this to be good or bad or wrong or right. I'm just saying this to be a reality and a truth for many. To naturally stimulate her in the way her soul, her mind, her body, her spirit was designed. So there's a manufacturing plant somewhere working 24 hours, 7 days a week with raw materials, with machinery, with oils, with epoxy, making plastic, with mechanics, with all of these operators, making little devices that's known as stimulators called rabbits that women will purchase to put upon themselves to stimulate them, to turn themselves on. What stimulates you? And Lord knows, man, this ain't to shame no woman in that predicament. This is life. This real. I empathize. Shame on the man who lays beside the woman with the rabbit. Are you a stimulator? I'm in the fight of raising a teenager. I'm talking real life. I ain't talking make believe. We all we got. We all we need. Hey, son. Hey, daughter. Let me stimulate your mind. Turn it on, son. Keep it on, son. Believe in yourself, son. Sky's the limit, son. Your mother and your father got your back. I believe in you, son. Jump, son. There's something in you that's way more valuable than anything you can put on you. Activate it, son. Turn it on, son. I can't stop, son. I've committed my life to trying to stimulate your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. I'm a stimulator. It's heroism. And if you ain't getting this or understanding this, I'm talking about you got to look in the mirror and say, come on now. Somebody is expecting you and needing you to turn them on. And if you can't say somebody is expecting and needing you to turn them on, then at least ask yourself the question, who do you need to turn you on? What do you need to stimulate your mind, to stimulate your body, to stimulate your soul, to stimulate your spirit so that you can go, be, do, see, smell, touch, feel. Stimulate your senses. That's what you call living. That's what you call it. In real life, so many of us are stimulated by pain. So many of us are stimulated by pain. Pain turns us on. So many women don't know what true love, sincerity, and honor is. We know the story 1,000 times. We think that love comes wrapped in abuse. And it ain't always got to be physical. That's the body. People can abuse your spirit, abuse your mind, abuse your soul. And if you get pushed so far in the darkness, see, when you get so far in the darkness that you don't even expect no light, we in the dark, baby. After being there for an amount of time, you say, oh, how great is the darkness. Oh, how beautiful is the night. They say the freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. Oh, how beautiful is the dark. See how that works? So when you're in the darkness so long and the darkness become beautiful, all the darkness becomes stimulating. He get turned on. He get turned on by whorism and darkness. So it stimulates. She get turned on by disrespect, dishonor, animalistic ways. She get turned on by, oh, how great is the darkness. Here comes the light. Somebody showing respect. Somebody showing dignity. Somebody showing honor. Someone who's not about confrontation. Someone who's about respect. But all that don't turn them on. All that don't stimulate them. They need the darkness. They want the argument. They want the arousing of disrespect. To say, who the fuck you talking to? Oh, they blood get the flowing now. Yeah, that's what stimulates a lot of us. Oh, they feel good to some. So if they ain't stimulated by the darkness, they say, man, that's boring over there. The light's so boring. Oh, how great is the darkness. Pull my hair and call me bitch. Oh, that turned me on. See how that works? What stimulates you, man? I ain't saying this to be good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm just saying, do you know what stimulates you? Do you know what stimulates your woman? Ladies, do you know what stimulates your husband? Do you know what turns them on? See, this is the argument that men get in today. These are sideline arguments because we get so caught up in the story, we get so caught up in the argument that we don't even understand the point of the argument. We talking about stimulation. See, in agriculture, they say you got to find a good piece of land. Then you got to till the land, work the land. That's the stimulation. That's preparing it for growth. You got to make the soil right and loose so that the seed can go down and be loose enough to come up. That's symbolic, personified in the same aspect of reproduction in any way. The mother is the earth. The woman is the land. In order to put your seed in her, you got to stimulate her, man. You got to stimulate her mind. That make her rivers flow. So when you drop them fish in that water, them fish got somewhere to go. But if you can't stimulate her mind, then that land remains dry. And you can't plant no seed. See how that works? Do you see how that works? So stimulation, being a stimulator. That's one who knows and understands how to generate it, how to operate it, and how to destroy all obstacles against it. Some people call it God. I call it it. And when you understand how it works, you can work it. If you don't understand how it works, it gets worked on you. Somehow along the way, being that this is the last day of Black History, and it's an extra one because this is a leap year. Somewhere along the way, our mind got cultivated to be stimulated by a lie. A lie activates us so much. And when I say a lie, I'm talking about anything that is given to us with the intent of being misdirected or misdirection. When they say, hey, but they make you look over there. We look over there and we be like, it's over there. And they be like, no, I ain't looking over there. I'm stimulated to look in the wrong direction. Oh, the wrong direction turns me on. And every time somebody come tell us the truth, we fight against it because we say we don't want to be turned off by the truth. We love the lie. All this is the history of being Black. Yeah, that's what stimulates. See how I got stimulated? Oh, I got turned on now. I'm turned on now. Oh, Lord. I get to talk about how Black folk keep looking in the wrong direction. And then we suffer because we look for love in all the wrong places. Oh, this type of thing turns me on. I'm so stimulated. I'm aroused now. I just wanted to get stimulated. I just want to get stimulated. Because when I get stimulated about telling the truth and dropping facts, there's another stimulation that meet me in the form of an opposition to stand in the falsehood and misinformation, to fight against the truth. But it turns me on in opposition. Because many are called and few are chosen. And I said at the beginning of this show right here, man, if you are already paying me some attention, and we know that your attention is the most powerful thing you can pay, and there's a real thing in the universe called the law of attraction, that those are alike will be attracted to each other. So if you're paying me some attention, whether now on the replay, then you are my sister and you are my brother. Then you already know you one of the ones. I'm talking about one of the ones, man, that fight the good fight. I'm talking about one of the ones when everything going wrong, we got enough inside of us to get it all right. And when you know it and you live it and you be it, and I'm talking in real life, I ain't talking make believe. So when I say many are called, a few are chosen, but I'm one of the ones who willing to stand on this here thing with all I am. Because that's all I do. I'll be ready. That time. I'll be ready to kick my goddamn judo called Hero Training. And I'm the master. See how this turned me on? It turns my ego on. It turns my confidence on. It turns my spirit on. It gets me talking and breathing. It turns my body on. It stimulates me so much. 408 weeks straight, I come on here and just turn it on and be turned on and be stimulated to let my gift flow. I don't plan this. I don't think about this. Most of the time, I think of my word right before the show. I challenge myself to stimulate myself and to come from my soul, come from my heart. I don't come from a book. I am a book. They say there's power in a book. Well, in order to read, someone must write. And in order to write, someone must think. And Hero Training is designed to show you how it works so you can cultivate your own thoughts, using words to break them down, to realize the spells that you place upon yourself in your every thought, in your every moment, in your every second. And when you understand how it works, speak your experience and tell your truth. It is valid and it's real. It's any other man that has put it in a book. So I'm something like the Book of Eli, and so are you. If you just unapologetically be you and understand how it works. You the master, just like I am. One time I told my son, it was like one of them, I'm going to visualize it in a way to say, you ever saw somebody play football with somebody, throw them up, they throw them the ball, and as soon as they catch the ball, they tackle them. I told my son one day, I say, man, don't you realize you over 6 feet tall right now? We was in here with Alexa. I'm going to show you this. It's a point. Alexa, what percentage of people in the world is 6 feet tall?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, about 14% of adult males are over 6 feet tall, and about 1% for women.
That's the world, Craig. So I'm telling my son, you're that rare in the world. Only 14% of men in the world are over 6 feet tall. Son, you're over 6 feet tall. You're rare. You're handsome. You're smart. You're strong. So I asked him a question. I say, who's more handsome, strong, and beautiful than you? And before he could answer, because I didn't know what he was going to say, I say, if you got to answer, I'm going to bust your ass in the chest. So I said that to say, you got to know what stimulates you to activate yourself and go and realize you already know you are enough and you one of the ones. You as real as it get. You are as real as it get. So how can another write down in a book about how to stimulate a woman, but his woman ain't yours? See how that works? The only way you're going to know how to stimulate your woman, how to turn her on. Man, you got to work her and turn her knobs till you figure it out. And you can't be satisfied until you get it. Because when you get it, you got it. And when you got it, that's one of the values of saying, this is mine. This is the value of saying, hey, that's yours right there. This is mine. I turn this on and off. I'm the stimulator. I'm the generator. I'm the operator. I protect and destroy all things that come against. See how that works? Do you see how that works? We'll get out of here with a jam tonight. Yeah, we is. Yeah, we is. We're going to get out of here with a jam. Because I made this today, man. And I wanted this to be a positive message, man. I wanted this to be a positive message. I know I used some examples about the woman, but that ain't no shame in you doing what you got to do, because understand this right here, man. Like I told you, the soul can't keep no secret that behavior won't reveal. Understand this, man. That soul need what it needs. And you can use your mind to lie to the soul. Or you can try to let your soul trick the mind. But one thing gonna reveal it is that spirit. That spirit is that breath. That spirit is that influence. That influence gonna come and it's gonna see that mind and it's gonna see that soul fighting. And then that old spirit come in like the air and get to inspiring and influencing you because you weaken your spirit weary. Yeah, look, your wind can't withstand nothing. The slightest thing that blow will make you go because your mind and your soul is fighting. And when your mind and your soul is fighting, it's at its weakest point. So the spirit can come in and influence you. And once the spirit takes the mind and the soul, I told you the body will follow. The body will follow. So now the spirit got you stimulated. And your mind and your soul is fighting. And now your body. You see how that work, man? Do you see how that work? Do you see how that work? But when your mind and your soul is on one accord, you honest with yourself. You honest with yourself. And you know what your body needs. And you look at the influence and the temptations that come way by with it. But then there's factors that come into play. Yeah, I know what I need and I know what I ain't got, but I got dignity. So yeah, maybe they're going to buy something to pleasure themselves. I understand that. I'm just saying, keep it in context and keep it in what it is of being real. You still have hormones. You still go through a menstrual cycle. You still ovulate. When you ovulate, that's your mind and your body having a conversation. Your soul and your mind telling your body, hey, body, right now is a part of a cycle of being in a woman. And right now, the only purpose other than this thing down here shooting pee out of it is reproduction. And now is the time that I need a man. And the soul and the mind got to have a real conversation to say, this is what we got to do. I understand that, sister. All due respect. Just be real about it. Just be real about it. And understand your position. And that true real life stimulation gonna come. And it ain't all about sex. There's a whole lot of stimulations that had to happen before that point. I said, you got to feel that brother before you feel that brother. He got to stimulate your mind. He got to stimulate your soul. He got to stimulate your spirit. Whole lot of stimulation got to happen before he stimulates your body. I told you I'm in the game where I'm raising teenagers, talking to my daughter. And it's real life shit. It's real life shit. I seen y'all group who talk about being sexually active. There's certain boys that done did it, and they be being real graphic, telling us how it is. I said, well, you know what you call that, don't you? She said, what? She said, peer pressure. She said, I don't know, I try to listen, they be nasty. Keep it in context, she talking to her daddy, and I'm talking to my daughter. And I give her a conversation about that's deeper than just feeling and being nasty. I said, you know the possibilities that come with sex, don't you? And we had a conversation, that's our conversation. But I wanted her to understand this here deep in real life. And a whole lot come with that. She at the age right now where she's being stimulated. We all been through it. We all went through it on different levels. But we all understand it and know how it goes. But if you real enough, man, this is what being a parent is about. If you real enough to understand and truly empathize with the struggle. I don't know about your children, but my children, mine. My children look and act just like their mama and daddy. We created man in our image and likeness. I'm talking real life. I ain't talking make-believe. We created a man in our image and likeness. And I'm giving all I got to keep him stimulated, going in the right direction, understanding the pressures of life outside of my protection, things that he got to fight, rites of passages that he got to cross. Same for my daughter. So if you ain't got that connection with your children, just as much as your woman or husband, you better understand that connection is real. And you're a part of the wiring. That's a part of the own. The same way if they doing something wrong, we all know as parents, the first thing somebody gonna look to us is, go tell your child to stop. Make your child stop. Make your child stop. One of the most common thought of notations to being a parent is making our child stop doing something when they're doing it wrong. Rarely do you hear, hey, make your child start. Turn your child on. How do you stimulate your child's mind to make them want to learn? How do you stimulate your child's body to make them do, go, be? How do you stimulate your child's spirit to make them know who they are and not easily be deterred and influenced by weakness and losing type shit? How do you strengthen their wind to blow away, to blow back anything that is opposition and don't have the intentions to help them grow? How do you activate and stimulate their spirit to be a mighty wind? And how do you stimulate their souls to care and know the feel goods and pain in every experience and where they stand in creating. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, we're going to get out of here on this here jam. We're going to stimulate your mind. I made this today. I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my big brother Wood. I want to give a shout out to my big brother Crump. I want to give a shout out to my big brother Black. I want to give a shout out to my real blood brother, little brother, but he a big brother too, Mun. I want to give a shout out to my cousin Bow. I want to give a shout out, man, to everybody, man, that I done come in contact with, man. I want to give a shout out to my daddy. I want to give a shout out to my mama. Ain't nobody above the bullshit. And sometimes the bullshit will make you better when you're real enough to deal with it. I love my mama and daddy through whatever they go through, because whatever life is for me as a child to look up and learn. Whether it's to be, to not to be, or to be better. I want to show my gratitude. And I want to say that it stimulates me. Think about that. It turned me on in love, man. It turned my soul on. So we're going to get out of here. Let me stimulate. Stimulate her body on my body. Now we saying you gotta, mighty. Stimulate her body on my body. Stimulate her body from my body. Gotta say you gotta, body. Stimulate her body with my body. Now we saying good God, body, stimulate. Ah, this that hood soul, man. Count 'em out. I'm just vibing out, y'all. I love y'all.
Let me stimulate your